Hi, and thanks for joining me. I've got an unboxing of the Crafter's Companion box number 23. This is all about floral decoupage, and it makes a minimum of 18 cards, and all that really means is that they've provided 18 card blanks and coordinating envelopes to match, but you'll find that the kit contents will last you well beyond those 18 cards, and of course you'll have items that last even beyond the supplies in the kit. So one of the cool things I like about the Crafter's Companion box kits is that they are basically a little introduction to the various product lines that they offer, and I noticed after I used this kit that there are a lot of different decoupage style supplies and stamps and dies that Crafter's Companion offers, and so these kits are a great little taster, and if you like that particular product line, you can always visit their website to see what else they offer in that style. And so I guess we want to start off with the floral decoupage, and you have a nice large stack of these pre-printed decoupage die. These aren't die cut, so these are just printed. You can't pop them out. However, you do get the coordinating dies to cut these out, so you don't have to fussy cut at all. And there are two different patterns, so you get this really pretty rose in pink, and then you get these hydrangeas in these nice purple tones. So really pretty. This one will layer up 4 different layers, and the rose has 3 different layers, and you'll have coordinating dies to cut each of these layers out. And I found that it's really easy to line up these dies, so really easy to cut these out. And look at that big stack. I mean, I didn't actually count them out, but you get quite a lot, and so these will last, I think, even beyond the 18 cards, just depending on how many you use on each card, but it's quite a lot. So there's that. So while we have the die set out, we can check that out. There are, besides the dies, coordinating dies that will cut out your decoupage sheets, you've got some sentiments, which are really nice. These are, as I mentioned, I did dive into this kit to make some cards already, so I have used some of these sheets up, and I really like die cut sentiments, and these are very thin, and so you do have to be a little bit delicate with them once they come out, but they're really pretty. So you've got the word love. I think this is just of you for, so you can combine those to be just for you. I think this is thank you. This one might be thinking of you, and this one is with love. So a good variety for multiple occasions, all purpose. And then you get, this seems sort of out in left field, but you get these sets of concentric circles, just I guess for additional accents. I'm not too sure about, I didn't use those, so I'm not sure how you would, but I guess they're really nice to have. A lot of times I'll use small circle dies like this to actually do a partial die cut for little thumb notches, so they're a really good size for that if you're looking for a different purpose for them. As is very common with all of the kits, you do get 3 different colors of satin ribbon in 3 different widths, so for a total of 9 different lengths of ribbon. They are single-sided, so there is a right side, a face-up side, and a wrong side. And then there are similarly 3 different colored flat-back pearls in 3 different sizes each, and the colors coordinate, but sometimes I find this to be the case where like these two green tones look very different from one another. This looks very neon and this is very kind of vintagey looking, and so sometimes the flatback pearls are like a perfect fit. I'm not expecting the colors to match 100%, but the tones on these look a little bit off. That's why you can see I didn't use any of the greens or the pinks really, because they just seem more kind of vibrant and neon. That might just be me though. You get two really large stamp sets in this kit, and what's really fantastic is that after you've used up this huge stack of pre-printed decoupage sheets, you can then stamp and color your own in the exact same style as what's printed here. And so that means that the coordinating dies that you use to cut out these sheets, you can then use to cut out your stamped and colored images. And so what you'll find is you'll have the main complete image, and then you'll have kind of the topmost layer, and if you need, like for example the hydrangea, there's this piece that just cuts out 3. So you would just stamp this image, but you don't have to worry about coloring the leaves, for example, because it's just going to die cut the 3 flowers. And similarly, there's a die that will cut out just 2 of the flowers. So you could stamp this another time, but only worry about coloring in these 2 flowers, because your die is gonna, cut out just those portions. And then you can always, when you're stamping your own anyways, you can always choose how many layers you want to stack in your decoupage, because with these sheets, at least for me, stacking 4 then makes like a really thick card that probably wouldn't go through the mail, because I use foam in between each layer. And so if you stamp and color your own, you can choose how many layers you want to include, and you could do that here too, but then it feels almost like you're not using everything, and then you'll have leftover bits, and so then what do you do with that, right? So when I use the sheets, I tend to think that I need to use all of the layers, but when I have the stamps, I feel like, oh, for the rose, for example, I could just use, the rose and then just the very top of the rose. Or in the case of the hydrangea, they have the 2 of the individual flowers, so I could just do the full image and then just layer these 2 up. So you can kind of make that determination and change it up a little when you're assembling your decoupaging. So I like that you have that ability and those different options. And of course, after the consumables are all used up, it is nice to be able to continue to create something similar. And you can always, hydrangeas come in different colors, so it's also a really, same with roses of course, and so it's always really nice to then be able to stamp and color your own and then create something different out of it. So a lot of different options there. And then the stamp set, this is really beautiful. I love all of these sentiments, and in particular I love when they do something like this where they have like a very standard font, and then they'll have in larger, more scripty font one word that is sort of the focus. So in this case, they have, with lots of love on your special day, you are the best. And I love these, scripty fonts. They also have really cool and, different in a good way sentiments that are really nice. So this one is, friends are the family we choose for ourselves. If friends were flowers, I'd pick you. Cherish the moment. That's also really good for mini albums. Enjoy the Moment, another one that's good for mini albums. And then they almost always have a Happy Birthday, but I do like that they mix in a lot of different ones too, and some that are a little bit larger and might even be nice for the inside of a card, like this one, the Friends Are the Family We Choose for Ourselves. So really nice stamp set. I think this is probably maybe a 6x6 sheet of sentiments. And as always, you do get a set of card blanks and envelopes, and what I really love is that you always get at least 3, is what I found, different sizes and shapes. So in this case, you get a 5x7 that's 10th fold, top folding. Then you get your standard A2 US size A2, so that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This is also top folding. And then a square 5x5. So a couple different options. I have found that the 5x7 and the A2 size are pretty common. Actually, this combination of 3 is really common, where the 5x5, 5x7 and the A2 I think is almost in all of the card kits, at least all of the ones I've seen so far. So that's really great, and you get the coordinating envelopes to go with those so that you can always send out the cards that you make. And now you also get a good variety of pattern paper and coordinating solid color cardstock. So I'll just go ahead and flip through these. The pattern papers are single-sided, so they're white on the back, and it is a nice quality, sort of lightweight card, not just your really thin printer paper or copy paper. And you do get multiple sheets in each of these designs. Generally, what I do when I crack into a kit for the first time is I'll pull out one of each sheet, and then I'll start there with the pattern papers and the solid color cardstock. And usually I still have a lot left over after making, a good handful of cards or so. So that's the last of the pattern papers, and I love this particular set. Is very vintagey in the color hues, colorways, and the pattern papers. Even the pattern papers sort of have some of that distressed, aged look, and all the colors are really pretty. And I really love that you get sort of a light, a medium, and a dark in each of the main colors in this set. And they did also include just some plain white paper, because if you did use the stamp to color your own flowers, they've already thought of that, and you can stamp onto some white paper and color and die cut. So as I mentioned, I did break into this kit and use it to make a handful of cards in my flip video, and here's what's left over. And this is after making, I'm pretty sure I made more than 4 cards, so I probably made, I would say probably, if I can't remember exactly, but I'm thinking on the order of 6 cards or so. So I did pull out several of the decoupage sheets, and just so that you can see, here's the hydrangea cut out. So there are the 4 pieces that come on one of those pre-printed sheets. After you cut them out, this is what you get. And then I just leave, whatever my leftovers are in the kit. So next time I come to use this kit, I'll already have some pre-assembled pieces to work from. Oops. So here's one way I've stacked the decoupage is I just use the same dies that you use to cut out the image, and I cut it out of foam. So then I've got foam edge to edge. Just gives you a different look. And you can do that with the roses as well. So I have a couple of each of those left over, and then all my little leftover pieces of solid and pattern paper. So some of these sheets I didn't even cut into at all. Some like I didn't even use a couple of these. And then but they're really all very pretty for doing mats and layers on your card. So lot left over after making already, a handful of cards. So the supplies here will definitely last past the card blanks that they provide. In fact, if I had to guess, I would think that the card blanks are kind of the first to be completely consumed in the kit, and then after that, maybe you'll have your pattern papers will maybe go next, or possibly the embellishments. But even after all the consumables are gone, you're still going to be able to make your own decoupage images and die cut those out. And then of course the sentiment stamp set is really going to be perfect for even beyond this kit. So you get a lot for your money and things that will last you a good long time, especially if you take good care of them. So that's this box. Definitely check out my flip video where I show you how I use this box to create flat, layered, interactive, and pop-up cards. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a fantastic day. Bye.